Salut, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I'm your host, Terry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything related to the Montreal Canadiens. Tonight was a game. A first in Canadiens history happened tonight. It's not like a huge bit of history, but it's just a bit surprising, the little bit of history that was made with this game, which we'll talk about. But it was a game against the San Jose Sharks. We were at home. Obviously, we wouldn't do 2 California road trips in a year. I don't know. The schedule going to 84 games next year. We might. I don't think so, but oh God. Regardless. Again, it was a game against the San Jose Sharks, which means Macklin Celebrini, he comes to town for the first time. Second time he's played the Canadiens. Because he was just drafted. No. This is the second time he's in Montreal, because I'm pretty sure he played last year. But they're making a big deal of it, so he might have been hurt when the Sharks came last year, but I'm not sure. But either way, it is the third, at least, time that he's playing the Montreal Canadiens, because I think he did play the game in San Jose last season. For some reason, I thought this was his rookie season. No, it's his second season, but yeah, now I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure he was hurt for the game in Montreal last year. So his first time in the Bell Center. This is going to be fun. Let's see how he does. That's kind of the big story coming into tonight. The second one is that for the first time in his NHL career, Brendan Gallagher is a healthy scratch tonight. That's right. Cole Caufield returns to the lineup. Mr. Saturday Night. Mr. Saturday Night returns for a Saturday night matchup. You had to take someone out of the lineup. You weren't going to take out Texier because he scored last game. Bolduc is at least fast. That only leaves 2 men, Josh Anderson or Brendan Gallagher. The choice was pretty simple. Anderson hits, Gally doesn't. Gallagher's out. So speaking of lineup changes, let's get into them. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caufield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Evans, Doc, and Anderson, Deneau, Texier. On the second line, you got Matheson, Dobson, blue line, sorry, I think I said it on the second line. On the blue line, you had Matheson, Dobson, Gooley, Hudson, and Struble, Carrier. So we've been winning with Struble in. You don't take him out. I won't be surprised if Jack-Eye is in tomorrow. That being said, Struble had a decent game. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. It was just whatever. But I still won't be surprised if Jack-Eye does end up playing tomorrow. Even though the Ducks are without Radko Gudas, don't be surprised. Jakub Dobes will get the start net for the Canadiens, and Jacob Fowler backs him up, as you would imagine, and I think probably he will get the start tomorrow. Funny enough, Hab's eyes on the prize actually listed that Monty would back him up, giving Fowler the complete night off before he plays tomorrow, but no, they did end up changing that. Dobes got the start, and Fowler backs him up. The opening lines for the Sharks were Chernyshov, Celebrini, Smith, Eklund, Misa, Toffoli, Graf, Renberg, Sherwood, and Goudreau, Ostapchuk, Goudreau, or Gaudette, sorry, they have 2 Goudreaus, no, Goudreau, Ostapchuk, Gaudette. On the blue line for them, Orlov, Klingberg, Ferraro, Mukamadulin, Dickinson, Desharnais. Alex Nedeljkovic gets the start for the Sharks, and Yaroslav Askarov backs him up, getting a much well-deserved rest. In the first period, 28 seconds in, a hard hit by Mike Matheson, and Chernyshov is down. He hits his head on the ice. Thankfully, he's not out cold. He is moving around, but getting up, he is very, very loopy. It's clear he has a very bad concussion. They stop play, and the replay shows just a very awkward hit. Matheson hits him. He ends up losing his balance. He hits his head on the ice. It's a scary little incident not little, but you get what I mean. It's a scary incident that happens a matter of seconds into the game. The Canadiens did send out a tweet that their thoughts were with him, so they wouldn't send that out unless he was being transported to a hospital. That was the last update we seemed to get on the night, as far as I could tell, so hopefully Chernyshov is okay. Something like that is very, very scary, and obviously with the amount of denial that the NHL has around hockey-related concussions. I think it's disgusting. So hopefully this is just the first bit of acknowledgement that the NHL has about hockey causing concussions. That'd be nice. But yeah, again, my thoughts are with Chernyshov. Hopefully he's okay and able to rejoin the Sharks sooner rather than later. Hopefully it just looks bad in the moment. It's a concussion, and he's good to go soon. So the Sharks almost immediately down their top line left wing, and Colin Graf would end up getting double shifted on the top line. Spoiler, Graf had a pretty good game. I really liked Colin Graf's game tonight. If the kid continues playing the way that he has, I won't be surprised if he's a good consistent second liner for the Sharks. He played, I'm pretty sure I mentioned him a lot in the game in San Jose a couple weeks ago, but I remember him playing well then. He played a very good game tonight. Graf is definitely looking like he's going to be a very solid full-time NHLer. I think this is his second full season. I think he played 3 seasons ago. He just got like a brief call-up, I believe. So good to see that he's been able to stick around throughout the rebuild and isn't going anywhere. It looks like he's probably going to be sticking around, you'd imagine. Hudson has a steal. Comes in, but the shot is saved by Ned. That shot is in the 5-hole of Dobes. Or sorry, there's another shot saved in the 5-hole of Dobes about a minute 40 in. Eklund has a shot gloved by Dobes back the other way. Habs under pressing. Danault on a dump. Andy almost gets a turnover. And we score. There's a shot put on net. Ned loses the puck. Lane Hudson puts it home, but it's no goal. The refs blow the whistle a second before Hudson grabs the puck. It's a little bit of a quick whistle, but when you see the goalie hugged up like that, you naturally assume he has the puck. So I completely understand, even if it was ultimately, it ends up being the wrong call, I do understand why they do blow the play dead and don't ultimately allow the goal. They do call the good goal on the play, but it's in order to review it, which I think is the smart choice. Even if it's very obvious, it shouldn't be a goal. I think that is the smart thing to do, is just call it a good goal and get the chance to review it. Basically just like how on the Radko Gudas thing, for example, a couple days ago, they call it a 5-minute major, and I believe they did review it, to confirm if it was 5 or if they downgraded to 2, and they do end up upholding it as 5 in a game. So I'm a fan of that. I do like that review system, even if ultimately it still went against Montreal tonight. They're reviewing it. It takes a while. It was about 3 to 4 minutes, it felt like, at least. And eventually they do confirm that, no goal on the play because the whistle goes before the puck is in the net. So it's still no goal. Still 0-0, unfortunately. The fans end up chanting, "Ref, you suck," after the right call. The Sharks end up pressuring. Klingberg in front has a shot saved by the pad of Dobes. There's a deflected puck gloved by Dobes. He had a very good first period. The rest of the game we'll see about. The shots are 5-4 Canadiens 4 minutes into the game. I said this game is either ending with the shots 21-19 or 48-46. And holy hell, I could not be more right. Demidov then was kind of hit awkwardly into the boards. He had a shift afterwards, but he had gotten a little bit hurt. He would end up going down the tunnel, came right back 30 seconds later. He played the rest of the game, so I think it's just one of those just go down the tunnel, try and walk it off, and ultimately that's what ended up happening. He would walk it off and hopefully wasn't playing hurt. I would imagine Demidov's one of those guys where he's not going to play overly hurt if he thinks there's a chance of him having a worse injury by continuing to play. So I'd imagine it's one of those just, ow, that stung. Let me walk it off, and then let me rejoin or whatever. Sharks press. Sherwood ends up fanning on a one-timer. Hudson steals one on a rush. There's a shot deflected just wide, though. Habs do maintain pressure after a puck battle along the boards. Struble almost sets up Deneau, but that is also deflected wide. This is where I mentioned that Demidov went to the back, and he came back. Dobson, off a draw, has a one-timer just wide. There's a turnover in the zone. Habs rush. Caufield's given space, and he shoots. You see what day it is? By the time this comes out, it'll probably be Sunday. You know what day this game was played on? Yeah? Yeah, Mr. Saturday Night. He shoots, and he gets it. Caufield with his 38th of the year, right by the glove of Nedeljkovic. He scores from Slafkovsky, and Noah Dobson at 7:21 gives the Canadiens the lead. That's something they need. They wanted the lead early. They get it. Habs push right away afterwards. Doc ends up poking at Ned. There's a small shove to him. Desharnais gets called for a rough about 8.5 in. Habs go to the power play. Caufield finds Slafkovsky in the slot. The shot is saved. Our feed was lagging hard, unfortunately. I didn't get to see much of the power play. The Habs would go 0 for 1. Thankfully, in the second period, we did end up switching over to City on our provider instead of watching online. Anderson has a pair of hard hits with 8 minutes left. One of those, I believe, on Muka Medulin. This is a fully shot off the post. Sharks press. Struble ends up losing his stick. There's a couple looks for the Sharks. Habs get the clear, and then the Sharks score. It's who else? Macklin Celebrini. Celebrini with his 34th goal of the year. Friend of the channel, Chev Camaro, mentioned Celebrini has 5 power play goals this year. So of his 34, 29 of them have come at 5-on-5 or shorthanded. Imagine if this guy was scoring on the power play. I'm sure a lot of his assists come on the power play, but just imagine if he was also scoring on the power play. The kid is better than McDavid already. He is the 3rd best player in the NHL, right behind Nathan MacKinnon and Nikita Kucherov. And I say this as someone who hates Nikita Kucherov. I gladly acknowledge he is the 2nd best player in the NHL right now. So Celebrini scores on a really, really good wrister. Gets it behind Jakub Dobes. He ties it with 6:48 left. That's a goal where I'm not going to blame Dobes at all. That's just a really, really good shot. Celebrini is deadly. He scores from Graf and Klingberg. Celebrini ends up getting on a break with 3 minutes left. Matheson is the man who gets caught for the breakaway. The shot does get saved, and the Habs go to a power play down the first with 2:03 left. Slafkovsky ends up getting cross-checked by who else? Macklin Celebrini. Sharks do end up with a shorthanded look. There's a Ostapchuk shot saved. Habs try to set up. Dobson finds a new hook for a one-timer. There's another one by Bolduc. That gets saved. And the rebound, Doc in front. That one is also saved. Sharks clear. Dobes has it. Caufield eventually gets on a rush. A Guy Lafleur-esque slapper, but that gets saved. Unfortunately, the Habs are 0 for 2 on the power play. Ostapchuk tries to act tough with Demidov at the buzzer. The Canadiens lead the shots 16-10 after the first period. It is a 1-1 tie game, though. The Canadiens and Sharks had a very, very, very fun first period. The second period, not so much. In the second period, the Sharks go to a power play, and for a multitude of reasons, by the way. Sharks do go to a power play 30 seconds in. There's a too many men on the play. Sharks cycle. As I put in my notes, Matheson can't clear. Toffoli puts a puck in front, and Celebrini scores. Celebrini scores. Habs give up the 2-1 lead 2 minutes in. The Habs are 0 for 1 on the penalty kill tonight. No. Habs are challenging. Funny enough, like I just said, Celebrini would have had his 6th power play goal. No. Habs are challenging for offside. The Sportsnet replay shows the play might have been off, and on second look, it's very close. I thought it was going to be confirmed as a good goal. The ref's decision, no. call on the ice, offside, no goal. So we go back to, they scored at, I believe, 1:02 left on the power play. They are given 1:32 after resetting the time. So Habs are going to have to work with basically a 2-minute and 30-second penalty kill, if you will. Matheson gets a clear. Gouli has a nice hit. Andy ends up clearing. Sharks enter, and Dobson clears. So 3 of the 4 men get a clear. Habs end up killing it. They are now 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. Good for them. You know how you fend off of a goal being called back, you continue to kill the penalty kill. That's what you do. That's what we did. Eklund has a shot gloved by Dobes. I believe that was the first official shot of the period. Ostapchuk hits Newhook behind the play. Never mind, it actually isn't considered a shot. It was more of just he gloves down a pass. Newhook responds with a big hit on Muka Medulin. Newhook then gets a look, and he hits the post. A really solid shift for Newhook. Apparently Newhook needs to get hit more because the dude goes into sicko mode when he gets hit. Yeah, the shots were 0 apiece at 5 minutes. Get used to that. Matheson has a slapper patted away on a sudden look. As I say that, and Habs get a shot. Anderson takes a shot block to the knee. He goes to the bench slowly, and I believe would play the remainder of the game. He was not too noticeable, which, to be fair, is the standard Josh Anderson game, but looking a little less noticeable, which means he might not have played, but I'm 99% sure he did. There's a good play. Dobes way out of the net to send the puck up. Love seeing that confidence. There is an Evans pass behind the net. That does get turned over. Habs ice a puck at 10:14 after a Sharks shot is wide of the net. Sharks then ice a puck at 9:27 after a Caufield good shot at the line. They try to get a sneaky goal once again. Sorry. Habs press, but Orlov, I should say the usual type of Caufield goal, like right at the goal line, I should say. Just trying to do something to sneakily bury it, and unfortunately, doesn't go that time. Like I said, Orlov and Texie end up shoving after a Deneau shot gets held by Ned. Sharks take a shot, and they score. With 8:04 left, Mario Ferraro gets his 5th goal of the year from Renberg and Eklund. There's a small screen. It's sort of deflected, but a goal that up high, it's unacceptable for that to beat Jakub Dobes, especially if Canadiens fans want him to be the starter. He needs to play that way. However, with Fowler being up, it's pretty clear Dobes is obviously the backup. It's a 2-1 Sharks lead, and that is their first shot of the period. Remind you of anybody, Canadiens fans? I sound like Chris Chan there for a second. Oh, God. Sharks almost make it 3-1 immediately, but the shot doesn't get on net. Ostapchuk dumps the puck, and Bolduc with a nice hit on him. Habs do try to press. The shots are 2-1 Canadiens with 5 minutes left. Again, not a lot of shots at all in this second period. Jesus. Habs do try to press, but turnovers were affecting both teams throughout the entire period. Neither team could really get things settled, surprisingly. And as I say that, it's a 3-1 Sharks. Colin Graf with his 18th of the year. He scores from, who else? Celebrini and, you're still in the league? Klingberg. Yeah. Colin Graf, he makes it 3-1. He deflects it, ends up deflecting the Celebrini shot right in front. Not with a stick, though. It's off his pants, so that was kind of weird. Right in front of the net, too. He's very lucky he doesn't end up touching Dobes on that chance. Sharks end up icing a puck with 3:07 left. Very lucky, as the Sharks player probably would have gotten to the puck first. Habs end up cycling. The second line gets a semi-change. Suzuki ends up on a puck. He just wrists one on net, and he scores with 2:19 left. 2:12 left. 2:22 left. Nick Suzuki, his 22nd of the year. Beauty of a wrister. He just gets in the zone, takes the shot, put it on net. You never know what happens. Habs make it a 3-2 game just like that. Suzuki scores from Demidov and Dobson. As we all know, it's not a Canadiens game unless they have to come back at some point. Suzuki then tries to double down, but the shot gets saved. Smith has a one-timer, bottom of the right circle. That gets deflected just off the side of the net. Habs have momentum. They try very hard to tie the game up. Demidov finds Kapanen, but it's just not on the tape. He has to try and settle it down first. And yeah, the shots were 20-13 Canadiens. They're only down by a goal, 3-2 after the second period. The shots in the second period total 4-3 for the Canadiens. That's right, a incredible lack of shots in the second period. Again, it was 2-1 Canadiens until 5 minutes left. An anomaly. You won't see that very often. This is, I feel like, the one game a year where, and not a Canadiens game in general, but just NHL game where there is a lot of chances in the first period, or just a period, and then none in the next period, excluding overtimes. Very crazy. Canadiens only down by a goal. Can they come back in the third? Let's find out. Third period, Celebrini gets found by Graf in the slot, but he goes wide. Struble shoves Mukhamadullin out of the crease after a near push on Dobes. That's after a save on net. Habs try to press, but they go offside, and there's a penalty. Sharks get called for a too many men, so both teams take a too many men in this game. How rare is that? Probably a little bit. 3 minutes in, that is when the penalty gets called. Habs do try to press. Suzuki turns one over. That ends up getting cleared. Slafkovsky has a shot blocked by Dickinson. The second unit have a press. Kapanen has a shot saved. The second time, it ends up going wide. Unfortunately, the Habs 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Sharks out of the box. Gaudette gets on the puck. He's the one that was serving the penalty, by the way. There's a 2-on-1, and the shot does get saved by Dobes. I want to mention, Celebrini was out on the penalty kill. Did this dude play 60 minutes tonight? Seriously, it feels like every time the Sharks were involved, Celebrini was right there. Celebrini might honestly be the second best player in the league, I should say, because Kucherov doesn't play a lick of defense. Celebrini does. He works his ass off. Defensively, I think he's pretty solid already. And the kid's, 19? He's maybe 20? Probably 19. Like, this kid is going to go down as a top 10 player in NHL history when all is said and done. You got to think. Like, he's going to go down as an all-timer, most likely. Anderson comes in on a puck battle. He, very lucky, doesn't get called for a couple cross-checks on Mario Ferraro. Sharks end up with a 2-on-1 after the puck battle, but the shot is wide from Michael Misa. Habs do end up pressing. Suzuki has a shot at 8 minutes. That's the first one on net for them in the third period. The Habs do push. Matheson does a good setup. The pass across does get saved. Bolduc in the slot. There's then another chance elsewhere, but that does get saved. Again, the Canadiens are trying to press in the third period. Struble has a good pass to Newhook. The shot goes off the post halfway through the period. Damn it. Habs ice a puck at 8:25. That's after a near press. They were getting momentum, like I said, as the period goes on. It seems very likely the Canadiens are going to tie this one up. If it's not now, with halfway through that 8:25, it's going to be in the final minute probably. The Habs look to enter the zone. They do finally get a look. They find a loose hole, but that does get held by Ned. Sharks ice a puck with 6:29 left. Again with 6:21. And with 6:14. That's right, 3 icings in 15 seconds. It's clear the Sharks are just trying to kill time any way they can. I should mention, I probably should have mentioned this off the top of the show, but the Sharks were needing this game in their own right, while the Canadiens were trying to tie the Lightning for second in the Atlantic Division. The Sharks are trying to stay in the playoffs. With a win tonight, they would pass the LA Kings for the second wildcard spot, but if they lose and the Kings win, they're all of a sudden down, I believe, 3 points, which is something that Sharks fans obviously don't want to have happen. So they're trying to stave off the Canadiens as much as they can. We'll see if they can for the remainder of the game, if they can at least get a point by going to overtime if they lose. Hudson has some good dekes. He does get interfered with. There's no call. And with 5:40, another icing from the Sharks. Jesus. Sharks then start to dump the puck in instead of straight up icing it. Off a board battle, Habs do press, but there's an offside. There's a cycle. Desharnais ends up losing his stick. Matheson tries a fancy deke, but obviously that's stopped right away. There's a 2-on-1, but Hudson with a nice... Oh god, I lost my notes. There we go. Hudson with a nice check to stop that. Sharks end up icing a puck with 2:50 left. And again with 2:46, a lot of icings in this third period. The fact that Canadians couldn't convert on any of them was really, really damning on the fact that Mike Matheson's out for a lot of these icings. There's an empty net for Montreal off the 2:46 icing. There's a pass that jumps over the stick of Slafkovsky as the Habs try to set up off the draw. Dump and chase always fails. The Sharks score. There's a bad setup that ends up leading to a 2-on-1. Poor Lane Hutson. He's the one back trying to defend it. Celebrini buries it. His 35th of the year. He scores from, Graf and Barclay Goudreau as well on that one. So Celebrini with a 3-point game. Colin Graf as well with a 3-point game. John Klingberg with a 2-point night for him. Smart, good for you, John Klingberg. Act like you're still an NHL defenseman. I put 4-2 win. I knew that there was no chance the Canadiens were going to come back. Dobes goes to the bench. By the way, that goal comes with 2:03 left, I should say. Celebrini's 35th of the year. He is very good. Dobes goes to the bench again with 1:45 left. The puck immediately goes out of play. There's an icing with 1:15. Hudson has a shot with 59 seconds left, gloved by Ned. Sherwood ends up icing a puck with 32 seconds left as he just misses an empty net. Slav has a shot last second, but it's not on net. Graf ends up missing the empty net. The Sharks win. Final shots were 27-21 for the Canadiens. Sharks do win it 4-2 in regulation, unfortunately. So, Canadiens basically lose both games to the Sharks by a goal, because if you take out the empty netter, again, obviously it's a one-goal game. First game was very high scoring. This one, very low event after the first, if you will. Like I said, this game was either ending with very low shots or very high shots, and it kind of ended very low shots after that insane, very fun first period. Unfortunately, the Canadiens couldn't pull this one out. They could not end up winning another game. However, no need to feel down, Habs fans. We're right back at it tomorrow night against Anaheim. They lose Radko Gudas, but they do gain John Carlson. So, we'll we'll see how that game goes. Hopefully, Carlson has a little bit of the first game jitters, but given he's a longtime vet of the NHL, he's probably not going to. So, that does it for this game. The Habs just needed to play a little bit better. Needed to get more shots in the second period. Then you could say that for both teams. Third period needed a little bit of smarter puck management, I think. Needed to get shots off those icings from San Jose. You need to make them pay. Going over 3 on the power play as well probably doesn't help either. So again, that is going to do it for the game recap. Let's get into the stats and then work our way on out of here. Nick Suzuki, come on. He leads the Canadiens with 22 goals, 54 assists for 76 points. Lane Hutson has 11 goals, 55 assists for 66 points, 7 points in 6 games this month. But unfortunately, with no points tonight, he snaps a 5-game point streak, actually. Cole Caufield, obviously, has 38 goals, 27 assists, 65 points. He leads the Habs in goals. Yuri Slafkovsky, 24 goals, 30 assists for 54 points. Ivan Demidov with 14 goals, 38 assists, 52 points, as well as a 3-game point streak. Good for the rookie. Noah Dobson, 12 goals, 32 assists for 44 points. Oliver Kapanen with 20 goals and 13 assists for 33 points. Mike Matheson, 6 goals, 27 assists for 33 points. Zach Bolduc, 10 goals, 16 assists, and 26 points, as well as a, get this, 26-game goalless drought. Josh Anderson, 12 goals, 8 assists for 20 points, as well as an 8-game pointless drought. Jake Evans, 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points. He unfortunately snaps a 6-game point streak. He was playing very good hockey as of recently. Alexander Texier, 8 goals, 12 assists for 20 points. Alexander Carrier with 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points. Brendan Gallagher, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points. Alex Newhook, 8 goals, 10 assists for 18 points on the year. Kirby Dach also with 8 goals, but 6 assists for 14 points. Phil Deneau, 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points. Jaden Struble with 9 assists. Caden Gooley with a goal and 6 assists for 7 points. Sammy Blais, who is back in Laval with 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Joe Veleno, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Again, 10-game pointless drought. Arbor Xhekaj with a goal and an assist for 2 points. And a 26-game pointless drought. Owen Beck, when he was in the NHL, had a goal and a 7-game pointless drought before he was sent back to Laval. Patrick Laine, who was unfortunately still hurt. Florian Xhekaj and Jared Davidson, each with an assist. Arbor Xhekaj obviously leads the Canadiens with 7 fights. Josh Anderson, Jaden Struble each have 2. Brendan Gallagher, Kirby Dach, Caden Gooley, Joe Veleno, and Florian Xhekaj all with a fight as well this year. Jakub Dobes leads the Canadiens with a 21-7-4 record, a 2.97 goals against average, and an 8.91 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault with a 10-8-4 record, a 3.43 goals against average, and an 8.72 save percentage. And Jacob Fowler with a 5-4-2 record, a 2.56 goals against average, a 9.06 save percentage, and a lone shutout for the Montreal Canadiens this year. So yeah, that is again going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Amazon, Spotify, wherever you might be listening to the podcast on. And don't forget to share the podcast too, please, with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Canadiens podcast, or somebody who you think just might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game. So yeah. That is, again, going to do it for this episode of HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Harris, and always remember, no matter how good we were like last year, how good we are like this year, or how pretty damn good we'll be like in the future, go Habs go, Ali Morial, and say it with me, everybody, Celebrity!